Hey guys, this is Connor at Conquest Human Performance in Strathroy, Ontario, and this is a basic wrist mobility and conditioning circuit, strengthening circuit that you can do. I recommend this for clients and patients that have ongoing wrist pain, wrist mobility issues. If the wrists are a limiting factor in other exercises like bench press, squats, push-ups, whatever it might be, this is a good place to go. It's very easy to scale, so just make sure you adjust your intensity to where you are right now. Nothing that I'm about to show you should be done with pain. So if you feel pain in any of the positions, pull back the intensity, pull back the range of motion, pull back the amount of weight that you're putting on your wrists, and then scale back up from there. So first things first, if you just get your hands on the floor, so I'm in basic quadruped position, so I've got hands and knees on the floor. What I'm going to do is put my hands on the floor in kind of like a push-up position right beneath my shoulders, so my fingers are pointing straight up towards you. And what I'm going to do from here is keep my elbows nice and locked out, and I'm just going to rock back and forth. So I'm just pushing my shoulders over top of my hands as far as I can go without pain, and coming back again. So what I'm doing is I'm getting a slight stretch in my wrists, not in this position. This should be a pretty easy position, but when I go further forward, there should be a slight stretch. Maybe you feel the muscles, maybe you feel a wrist impingement on the back of the wrist. Either way, I'm just going to work through as much pain-free range of motion as I can. Just get in 10 to 15 reps like that. Put the fingers facing out towards the side, same position with the hands. And again, 10 to 15 reps, back and forth. Keep the elbows straight. Now the next one's a little more challenging. If you can do it, point your fingers back towards your own body. The closer you get your hands to kind of like square in this position, the harder it's going to be. But again, same thing. There won't be much stretch in this position. When I sit back, now I'm feeling some pretty ugly stretch in the front of my forearms. So again, just work through as much pain-free range of motion as you can, 10 to 15 reps. And with all of these, I can control how much weight I'm putting on my wrists too. If I keep a lot of my weight over my hips and my knees, it's pretty gentle. If I put most of my body weight on top of my wrist, it's going to be a lot more intense, so scale it appropriately. After I've done that, so those are the three ways to do it with my palms facing down. Now I can do the same thing with my palms facing up. So I would start with my fingers kind of touching, palms facing up. This can be a little nastier. Make sure you're using soft floor, not like me. 10 to 15 reps. And 10 to 15 reps. You can go this way, but it's super awkward and I don't really think it's going to do anything for you. So after you've done 10 to 15 reps of each of those, then what you can do is repeat that circuit again. If you found things that were harder and things are easier, for example, when I'm doing the first one, there's not much going on there for me. I don't feel much stretch, I don't feel much restriction, there's no pain. But when I go into this position, I can feel some good stretch. So I know that I'm a little more limited through this range of motion. So what I'm going to do is pick on this range of motion. So you don't have to do every position again if you don't want, but if you do a couple rounds through each position range of motion, it's going to lubricate everything in the wrist nicely. It's going to mobilize everything in the wrist and forearm nicely. So it's a good thing to do before any workout where you need to rely on your wrists. So after that, what you can do are some wrist push-ups. So we spend a lot of time typing like this. You might have an ergonomic keyboard or something like that, a mouse, but we're stuck in this position a lot. And these muscles can get really tight, and as a result, they can get really weak too. So for this next one, I'm going to make fists. Keep a closed fist the whole time. As I hold that closed fist, what I'm going to do is slowly roll to the outside or back of my hand. So I'm trying to touch the back of my hand down to the ground. My elbows are bending, so I'm cheating to do it. But what I'm doing, I got paint. So what I'm doing, slowly rolling to the back of my hand, feeling that stretch, and then back up. And I'm going to repeat for reps. So in doing so, I'm making these muscles stretch, but I'm also making them stronger in those stretch positions. So it's a double whammy. It's a win-win. So again, work with pain-free range of motion and control how much weight you're putting on it. Elite gymnasts, a lot of them, can do this from push-up position. I'm not an elite gymnast, so I'm doing it with my knees down and really not that much weight on my wrists at all. You can do this standing, bending over a couch if you want to. But I'm going to repeat for 10 to 15 reps there. Make sure my fist stays closed the whole time, and that's going to work the back there. After that, I can do some wrist push-ups to target kind of the inside or the front of my forearm. So from here, I'm just going to start in my basic push-up position, and then I'm just going to rock up so that only kind of the base of the fingers remains on the floor. So I'm rolling up so that the palm is off the floor, doing push-ups that way. So from the side angle, trying to control that whole range of motion, working through as much pain-free range of motion as I can. And again, stick to nice high reps. Like, these are all small muscles. There's a whole lot of tendons and nerves and everything that goes into the hand. So you don't really want to load them maximally with any of these movements. Just drive blood flow, try to improve mobility, try to improve the conditioning of the wrists and everything that feeds into the wrists, the forearms. So don't push any of this too hard. Gentle, more volume with it. You can do this a few times a week. If you have workouts that have high wrist demands, like handstand workouts, handstand push-ups, whatever you find bothers you, do a couple rounds of this before that, or even earlier in the day, and just prepare yourself for the turmoil to come. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and keep your eyes on Conquest HP for more in the future.